Assalamualaikum. My name is Gia.
My name is Jenna, and this is the Disrupting the Narrative CAIR Cleveland podcast.
We're so excited to get this initiative started, and we really wanted to have this podcast as a way to connect with our audience and connect with you all. We'll be discussing the pressing issues that our community faces. We're going to highlight inspiring stories and share updates about the work that we're doing here in CAIR Cleveland.
So what you guys can expect as we go through these podcasts is going to be a very fun, relaxed podcast, like we're having a conversation. We're going to, inshallah, invite a bunch of leaders from our community, experts, individuals who are impacted by civil rights challenges and how they intersect with CAIR Cleveland, and we'll also spotlight amazing work that's happening in our community from a bunch of different people, interfaith partners, students, activists, business owners. So yeah, it's going to be about activism, interfaith partners, and inshallah we'll get to hear from the most important voices in our community. Inshallah. So it's exciting.
I think before we jump into our future episodes, I think it's important that we all have a baseline understanding of what CAIR is. And this is off of the CAIR website. We have two things: our vision and our mission. Our vision at CAIR is to be a leading advocate for justice and mutual understanding, and our mission is to enhance understanding of Islam, protect civil rights, promote justice, and empower American Muslims. So a lot of our events that we hold, our banquets, our iftars, our workshops that we do are all usually they go really well with our vision and our mission. And if you guys also didn't know, CAIR Cleveland is also part of a bigger network of different CAIR chapters around the United States.
Yeah, I think there's 30 different CAIR chapters around the United States, so it is a really big organization. They do amazing work, and a lot of people don't even know what we do and what our principles are. So there's 10 principles that we follow and that our events usually surround. I'll go through them really quickly, inshallah. We support free enterprise, freedom of religion, freedom of expression. We're committed to protecting the civil rights of all Americans, regardless if you're Muslim or not, all Americans. We support domestic policies that promote civil rights, diversity, and freedom of religion. We oppose any policies that permit racial, ethnic, or religious profiling, infringe on due process, or prevent Muslims or others from participating in American civic life or liberties. We're an ally of groups, religious or secular, that advocate justice and human rights in America and around the world. So that's where you see a lot of our Palestine work, and for Sudan and Haiti and all these things that we bring awareness to police violence. CAIR supports foreign policies that help create free and equitable trade, encourage human rights. We believe the active practice of Islam strengthens the social and religious fabric of our nation. We condemn all acts of violence against civilians by any individual, group, or state. CAIR advocates dialogue between faith communities, both in America and worldwide, and inshallah we'll have interfaith episodes on this podcast. And we support equal and complementary rights and responsibilities for men and women. So those are really quickly the 10 principles that we work with.
Yeah, so it's a civil rights organization. We have, obviously it's a Muslim one, but we are not only focused on supporting or helping Muslim people alone. We should also talk a little bit about ourselves, how we kind of got involved with CAIR, why we are here.
Meet your hosts.
Yeah, meet
We're
your
going to be
hosts.
on every episode.
Yeah, so do you want to go ahead? Get started?
You want to go first? Okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Jenna. I feel like I kind of found my way to CAIR through Palestinian advocacy, because CAIR really does have a really strong hand in working for Palestine. I actually went to Washington, D.C. as a volunteer with Gia, who was an intern, or were you
I was working at the time, yeah.
She worked here at the time. And I knew Gia from before, from SJP events, but not really.
We didn't really.
We didn't?
Yeah, we knew each other from far.
We knew our names.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun on this trip. We went and advocated for Palestine in the congressional offices.
We met with our elected officials, and we were talking basically lobbying and talking about issues that pertain to the Muslim community.
Yeah, and so that was one of the times I was volunteering, and then before that I did buses with Fatin, who is our boss, who you'll see in a little bit next episode, inshallah. I just knew her.
You also helped a lot when we had a program called the Epic program. You helped package food.
Yeah.
I remember meeting you there.
That's how I knew you.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
We have a program called EPIC,
Yeah.
which stands for
Empowerment Program for Incarcerated Communities.
yes. And that is basically where we have, you know, people who are in jail, who are incarcerated, who are Muslim, who convert to Islam, who need Qur'ans, who need religious material, who need, like, you know, a guide on Islam, kufis, and we provide those materials to them.
Yeah.
And Jenna was there helping us package Eid meals for them. And yeah, I remember that was one of the first times we had like a proper conversation.
Yeah. And so then after USCMO days, some problems happened, right? That's how me and Gia got close. Bad things happened, but I was like, Gia, like, what do I do? We became friends, and then I was like, should I apply for this open position?
Yeah.
There was an open position, and, you know, I do a lot of activism, so I was like, okay, you know what, this works. Let's get out the vote, and, you know. So my position was temporary at first, but then I really liked it, so I, like, begged Fatin, let me stay, and now I have a, alhamdulillah, permanent position. I'm the civic engagement coordinator here. And like I asked Gia, like, should I apply? She said, yeah. Alhamdulillah, now I'm here, and inshallah, I'm excited to like continue work. This is so exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So what about you? Well, like, how did you find CAIR? I never knew this.
Yeah. So I started CAIR last summer. So not this summer, last summer. So over a year now, and I heard of them. This is a funny story. I'm gonna shout out Omar al-Assad because he goes to my school. I go to John Carroll University. I was involved with the SJP. I started the chapter there. I held the events. I was very like involved. And Omar had his sister like goes to Case, and his sister had, you know, they had a talk at Case Western about CAIR, and he took one of the pamphlets. It was like this pamphlet right here. Maybe you've seen it around.
Cute.
And he held it with him for 2 weeks, and then he gave it to me. And he's like, Jay, you have to apply and work with CAIR.
Yeah.
They have internships. They have volunteering. I feel like you would be perfect for this. And I was like, okay. And I didn't really hear too much of CAIR before. I was like kind of new to the country. But then when I told my parents about it, my grandpa and my dad both had been helping with CAIR like when they first started, so around 20 years ago, 22 years ago.
Mashallah.
So it was like a nice coincidence, like a full circle moment.
Yeah.
And then obviously all of CAIR's values really do align with mine in terms of the human rights, the justice, equality, and just like you want to feel. I love working in a place where I can feel like a proud Muslim and not have to like shield or hide parts of my identity. So to me, that's very important, and I found like a nice community here. Yeah, I also do, so I'm a student at John Carroll. I'm a senior. What are you doing?
I graduated from CSU. I had my bachelor's in health sciences.
Oh, that's nice.
But now I'm thinking about applying to like law school or international relations, something like that for my master's. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's nice. I'm also kind of on the same path. I think we both have similar like futures and like passions that we kind of want to do. So if you have those kinds of passions, is kind of the place for you.
Get involved with it.
Yeah. But yeah, I also do love like helping out in the masjid with the youth, Arabic schools, and the youth committee. So I just I find like the youth a very important part of our community, and CAIR does a great job with empowering our community, empowering the youth. And I think in America especially, you need to focus on your Muslim identity, on the youth, on teaching people about what really matters in this world.
And let me say that like a lot of people think CAIR is strictly for Palestine or strictly for human rights, but we are all encompassing. Like there is so much that we have to do that some people don't understand, that like we're one day at an elementary school defending a kindergartner that was, you know, falsely lied about or something, and then the next day we're traveling to Toledo for a Know Your Rights presentation, and then the third day we're at a protest for Palestine. So it's like so many different things, but alhamdulillah, like Gia said, it is such a nice place to work if you want your values to align. Like most Muslims have similar values for liberation and human rights, and it really, really is. It's a good job. I like it.
And I do think right now, because of with everything that's been happening in Palestine, a lot of the focus has been on it. And mashallah, we do have a big Palestinian community who is very active in Cleveland. So naturally, I do think a lot of the attention has been on it the past couple months, years. But in general, we do a lot of work with our incarcerated communities. We do a lot of work with our Black community, our Afghan community. So Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So, what is your official title? What do you do around the Office of Slaughter? Let's just tell them what we do here.
Yeah. I quickly mentioned it. I used to be the Get Out the Vote coordinator, which was mobilizing our community, the Muslim community, to vote. We went around to masjids and we educated them about the importance of voting in local elections as well as presidential and stuff like that. But now I'm the civic engagement coordinator / office assistant, so I do a lot of work with the community, educating the community, getting them involved, kind of like onboarding to like what CAIR is and what we're doing. For instance, I just came back from DC with Fats and our executive director, and we kind of talked about what our strategy is going to be moving forward and how we're going to be on the offense in this political climate, and how things might be a little bit difficult in the next 4 years and how we can protect our community. So stuff like that. I work a lot with the activism and initiatives in Cleveland. So I'll be like the CAIR representative going to like a divestment event, or if we have like interfaith partners doing an event, I'll go there and interact with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, very like front facing, very involved in activism, advocacy.
Yeah. Thanks. What do you do, Gigi?
Me, I am the community outreach coordinator. I started off as an intern and then I got the job. I do a lot of our social media.
Yeah.
Most of what you see, our newspapers, our newsletters, our press releases. So like most of the community outreach things, I would do that. I like a lot of the events, like the bigger events that we have. I plan those, our fall banquet, our Ramadan iftar. What else?
Yeah, she like will always invite like the community to get. She gets them out.
Yeah, talking to our community, reaching out. When we had the USCMO days, you know, talking to Congress, planning those meetings.
Oh my God.
So a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
And like all those designs, like the really nice designs. I think our what is the end of year appeals coming out?
I'm excited for that.
So nice. She does a lot of that stuff. It's amazing. And like those meetings. And like the banquet, she spent so much time doing that. You should have seen her the day of, bro. I was
crazy.
But
you don't want to see me under stress.
She gets it done. It's so good.
Thank you.
And the last thing is we're gonna start this podcast, and it's gonna be so fun. Inshallah.
I'm so excited for this podcast. Our podcast, we're gonna be starting our TikTok as well too. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So that's also gonna be under our umbrellas.
Right. We would love for you guys to be a part of our journey. Our Instagram is CAIR Ohio Cleveland.
I believe so.
CAIR Ohio Cleveland, one word. It's if you guys want to be on this podcast, shoot us a DM.
Yes, we would love for that.
Or suggest if you have any suggestions who was someone really impactful in your life or in the community. And again, like we said, CAIR is a really good place to get involved, whether it be volunteering or interning.
We always want the extra help if you want to get involved.
And I want to reemphasize, this is going to be a fun podcast. This one was a little bit groundwork.
Formal, we wanted to get you guys situated with who we are and what we do.
But it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of interactive,
interesting people.
Interesting podcasts.
Yes. So inshallah, we will see you next episode.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.